Right, what have you got for me today? Oh, no, this guy. So where were we? Oh hi, so rewatching The Last Jedi after the Rise of Skywalker is a weird thing. A lot of the stuff that drove me crazy the first time round has been shafted so brutally by Rise of Skywalker that it just makes me laugh now. If you've not seen my Rise of Skywalker vid, you should check it out. Seriously, you could double the views on your own.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
I'll definitely rewatch The Force Awakens next to see what the effect the other films has had on that one, but let's go through The Last Jedi again. As I said in my last review, I don't have time to do in-depth analysis on these things, so I'll stick to some of the main issues. One of the first things that sticks out is the fact that this all picks up pretty much right after The Force Awakens ends. So the loss of Starkiller Base has just been a minor annoyance to the First Order, which again will make the rewatch of The Force Awakens a bit weird. Hooray! We destroyed Starkiller Base. Now we're fucked. The opening with Poe doing your mama jokes with Hux.
Tell him Leia has an urgent message for him. I believe he's tooling with you, sir. About his mother.
The space bombers and all that stuff has not improved on rewatch. Presumably, Moonface Johnson saw that episode of Robot Chicken with the Luke and Darth Vader your mama fight.
Oh, your mama fight!
Your mama's so stupid, she spent all day saying, "am not" to R2. Oh!
And he thought, I could do that, but much, much worse. And give the man his dues, he could. And of course it sets the tone for Hux being turned into the comically inept sidekick.
Supremely.
No wonder he turns spy in Rise of Skywalker. But this is small stuff next to the main premise of the plot for this movie. Basically, the escaping Resistance fleet can't go to lightspeed because the First Order is tracking them, so they have to run away slowly, with the First Order unable to just catch up with them. Vivian from The Young Ones explains it as,
Well, they're faster and lighter, sir. They can't lose us, but they can keep at a range where our cannons are ineffective against their shields.
I find that rather difficult to believe.
Of course, there's so much wrong with this that it beggars belief. Why does weight matter in space?
I don't know.
If weight does matter, then how can all of the Resistance ships be as fast and light as each other?
I don't know.
Why can't at least some of the First Order ships light speed ahead and cut them off?
I don't know.
Why don't the Resistance ships just split up?
I don't know.
So okay, you switch off your brain and you say, fine, I'll go along with the premise. And then they just break it themselves. Now imagine you went to a movie company with a pitch for a film.
Stay on target.
No, bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this. Let's say your premise is that a bunch of guys are trapped on a base in the Arctic with a monster hunting them down. They have to try and deal with it because they're trapped by the weather and their transport's all fucked. So far so good. Then you say, and then two of the characters get on a helicopter and fly to Las Vegas to get help. Whoever you were pitching to would say, whoa, hold on. Why don't they all just get away then, even if it takes a few trips? But something like that would break the premise so obviously that only an idiot would even write something like that. Enter Moonface Johnson, who has two people escape the unescapable chase by flying off to Space Vegas. And then coming back and having other people come to the chase and then leave as well. None of this makes any sense, and the fact that Rise of Skywalker has everyone able to travel everywhere in the galaxy in seconds, as well as light speed skipping, shows how stupid J.J. Abrams thought this stuff was. So plot A with the Resistance fleet chase is screwed up from the get-go. Plot B with Rey and Luke goes south immediately too. The initial shock of Luke's saber toss
Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Is replaced on Rewatch now with laughter, as you remember the Rise of Skywalker scene where Luke's ghost shits all over it. And of course the milking scene still sucks.
It was a funky ball of tits from outer space.
The rest of the Luke plot is as bad as ever, especially knowing now that he apparently knew that Rey was a Palpatine. The scene where he wants to burn the Jedi text is also funnier when you realise that the clues to finding Palpatine were all in there. If Rey hadn't stolen the books and Luke had burnt them, Old Man Palpy would have won the day. So Luke being useless and Rey being a kleptomaniac has saved the galaxy. This is indeed Bork Skywalker.
Forget about all those great Star Wars toys you had as a kid. Now you can buy the new Last Jedi toy range, including Bork Skywalker, Jedi Waster. Hear him say 3 of his famous phrases such as, "Go away," "Leave me alone," and everyone's favourite, "I came here to die." Get your Bork Skywalker toy now. Massive alien titties sold separately.
One thing that still rankles is the cut after Luke asks, "Where's Han?" Here was a chance for Mark Hamill to do some acting, as he comes to terms with the fact that his best buddy has been murdered by his own son, the son that Luke failed so badly. But it just cuts away.
Where's Han?
If Moonface had directed The Empire Strikes Back, I imagine the scene where Vader says, "Luke, I am your father," would just immediately cut somewhere else.
No, where's Han? I am your father.
Told you. Also, there's the bloody Porgs.
You ever see a Porg up close, Chief? Porg's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When you see one that don't seem to be living, till you buy one and the eyes roll back in the head. Anyway, the next film was a bomb.
Fuck me. So A plot's fucked, B plot's fucked. What about the C plot? Oh shit, here we go. It's Rose Tico time. One thing that everyone was talking about was this SJW agenda stuff, in particular towards the new character of Rose. Apparently she was put in there to boost the female quota and probably the ethnic diversity angle too. It's also been mentioned that her character was supposed to appeal to the Chinese market. Given that she's from Vietnamese parents, that's like putting Liam Neeson in a film to appeal to the French market. Oh, mais oui, I have a specific set of skills, monsieur. I don't know if any of that stuff's true, but if she's supposed to be a role model for girls, boy did they fuck that up. They subverted the shit out of that one. She is useless. Totally fucking useless. Worse than that, she's a fucking liability. The whole plot on the casino planet is a waste of time anyway, but she thinks releasing the space horses makes the whole thing worth it. You went there to help save the lives of thousands of your friends. They're getting the shit blown out of them, remember? You know what I think? I think the original script had Poe and Finn going to the casino world. Some male bonding and good old-fashioned shenanigans, probably resulting in them murdering a bunch of bad guys. That's what we all want from a Star Wars movie, space shenanigans and murder. Then they crowbarred Rose in there, and that meant Poe gets left on the Resistance ship. So they have to come up with this whole wacky mutiny plot to give the poor fucker something to do. Great idea. Fuck 2 storylines up for the price of 1. Seriously, let's think about the character of Rose. Rose starts off stunning one of our heroes. Then there's the whole space horses bit. Then she stops Finn from blowing up the big gun at the end, practically dooming the last of the Resistance in the process. And incidentally, she could have killed both of them with that move. She's an idiot. She's clearly motivated by getting into Finn's pants, to the detriment of everything else. Her friends' lives, the galaxy's freedom. Nah, fuck it, I'm going to save the man I love, that I met, like, yesterday. That's a role model? People say that Rey is a Mary Sue because she's great at everything. This Rose character is the complete opposite, whatever that is. She's Mary Pooh. She's apparently some kind of electronics genius, but she's doing routine maintenance, fixing the shit pipes or something. I think now we might know why. Princess Leia probably started her as the head of space IT or something. Then she upped and fucked off for a couple of weeks.
Where the hell have you been? Oh, don't worry about it. I was off saving space whales or some shit. Chasing after some space dude I just met. We were getting hammered here by the First Order. You're fucking demoted. Now grab that fucking spanner and fix those shit pipes. Well, is it at least a space spanner? No, it's a regular fucking spanner. Get fucking moving. Don't make me fly over there.
Jesus Christ, imagine comparing the characters in this film with the original movies. Hey, original trilogy, what have you got going on over there? Well, we've got a roguish smuggler, a feisty princess, and a Jedi Knight facing off against bounty hunters and space Nazis. Why, what have you got? Well, we've got the woman who fixes shit pipes for the Resistance, and the guy who cleaned the toilets on the Starkiller base, heading out to free some fucking space horses. Wow, strap yourselves in, folks. It's going to be a hell of a ride. It's customary at this point to say the following. I'm not slating the actress here. She did the best with the material she was given. Which is true. Nobody could have made that character work. Fucking Meryl Streep couldn't have made that work. But rewatching it, you remember how she was brutally shafted to the sidelines in Rise of Skywalker, which makes the whole Rose Tico introduction and character arc here just laughable. So far, we've just laughed at how pointless and screwed up the whole plot is. The space chase is terrible nonsense, the casino planet side plot is meaningless drivel, and the whole Rey and Bork thing is like a bad school play. Then you've got the end where everything really comes together. Rey's ditched Bork Skywalker and gone to face Kylo and Snoke. The Resistance fleet is all but destroyed. Rose and Finn's little escapade has failed miserably. Leia's been flying around the place. And the bird from Jurassic Park has been an asshole to Poe for no reason. So Rey gets thrown about by Snoke, but Kylo kills him with a little lightsaber trick. Then they fight Snoke's guards and decide not to use Force powers for some reason, which foreshadows Kylo's fight with the Knights of Ren in Rise of Skywalker. They win, of course, but then Kylo drops the whole "your parents were nobody's" bomb on Rey. Which again, like most of this film, now just makes you laugh when you've seen The Rise of Skywalker. In that, he says he never lied to her. But here he clearly says,
"They're filthy junk traders who sold you off for drinking money."
Which is blatantly a fucking lie. Did JJ even watch this part of the film? Imagine being one of the Last Jedi fans, or Disney shills as they're known, who said this was a great move for the story, because having her be a descendant of a main Force user was far too lazy and predictable. Then a couple of years later they find out about Grandpa Palpy. Ouch. Meanwhile, the Resistance is fleeing in escape crafts to the nearby planet, but getting picked off due to Rose and Finn's plan backfiring. So Admiral Holdo pulls off the Holdo maneuver. I assume named after her. Otherwise, at the Academy they'd have been like, "Hey Holdo, there's a maneuver here with your name all over it." It looked cool, but once again it was shat on by Rise of Skywalker when Poe dismisses it as a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. So instead of thinking, "Wow, that looked cool, I wonder why they don't always do this," now you think, if it's a 1,000,000-to-1 shot, wouldn't it have been funny if she just zoomed off into the distance? She's just fucked off and left us, what a bitch. The Holdo maneuver would basically just be code for running away.
She's running away.
He's jacking it in and packing it up and sneaking away and buggering off and
But the 1,000,000-to-1 shot pays off. Despite the massive damage, Rose and Finn are saved from execution. Rey and Kylo just get disturbed from their fight, and the remaining Resistance can escape to the planet. That was lucky, wasn't it?
Door.
Into the final act, the First Order attack the rebel base on Crate, using tried and tested tactics of landing miles away and slowly moving towards them.
Shit.
The rebels launch a last-ditch attack to try and stop them in what are basically jumped-up go-karts. Rey shows up, having reunited with Chewie and the Falcon, and destroys half the TIE fighters with one shot, and then distracts the others. As mentioned, Rose fucks up Finn's suicide run to try and save everyone from the big gun, and someone else pointed out that her little saving what we love bit has all the timing of a comedy moment.
That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
Then Bork turns up again. Now you know this is a rewatch, so you know he's not really there. We now know from Rise of Skywalker that Force users can actually fight and touch things remotely, but here he's just a phantom. Surely a metaphor for the fact that Luke's not really here, just a bad copy. On first watch you might have thought, yay, Luke's here to save the day. But now you're thinking, yeah, get on with it and get to the end. Bork distracts Kylo and his troops while the rebels escape out the back. Then he fades away and dies back on his island. So at least he got his wish to die there, hooray! Thankfully he disappears, otherwise the Porgs would have surely eaten him. The last surviving rebels escape on the Falcon, and despite witnessing the death of hundreds if not thousands of their friends, and there being only about 10 of them left now, they seem pretty cheery about it all. No doubt Finn told them all about freeing the fucking space horses, so they know it was all worth it. The end. Now, reviewing the trilogy backwards is weird. Nothing in this film pays off later. I reckon if you went straight from The Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker, the only thing that would need explaining is Snoke and Luke being dead. You could get that Lord of the Rings guy just to pop up and go, yeah, Snoke and Luke died. Dark secrets known only to the Sith. But by far the strangest thing is that rewatching The Last Jedi now, it's actually not as bad. It's more funny now in hindsight than it is annoying. Instead of tearing out my eyes like I did when I first watched, now I just smiled. Mainly thinking about everyone who defended this as a great subversion of Star Wars tropes, and then got promptly shat on 2 years later. Just imagine that though, The Rise of Skywalker, as crap as it is, actually makes The Last Jedi better. Of course everyone, including me, has pointed the crispy fingers of blame at Moonface Johnson. But let's look at his track record. He hit the movie headlines with Brick, a film noir type flick with a detective type character, femme fatale, henchman, etc., but with a twist. It's all high school kids. Then he did Looper, a film about hired killers working for a crime syndicate, with a twist. The guy the hero is hunting down is himself from the future. Skipping ahead, he recently did Knives Out, a traditional whodunit mystery, but with a twist. Even the person who thinks they done it, didn't done it. There is a pattern here. Moonface takes traditional storylines and tropes and adds a twist or subverts them. So really, the people or person who hired him to write the script for The Last Jedi, which took him about a week I reckon, must have known he would want to take the traditional Star Wars elements and add twists to them.
Another shocking twist!
He takes the old man mentor trope and turns him into a miserable git who just wants to be left alone to die. He takes the evil mastermind and kills him off within minutes. He takes the idea of some kind of inherited power or destiny and he says, nah, that's shit. It's the only main Star Wars film with no lightsaber on lightsaber action, and he even takes the idea of an exciting space battle and turns it into a slow, boring slog. It's also clear that Moonface obviously hated all the mystery box shit from The Force Awakens and just thought he'd bury it in this film. He also clearly wanted to crowbar in some action set pieces without thinking if they actually made any sense, which to be honest is pretty standard in most blockbusters now. The real problem for me was none of it felt like Star Wars. Even the prequels, as bad as they were, felt like Star Wars. Well, maybe not the Phantom Menace, with that bloody kid. I'll give you pod racing. The Last Jedi feels like a Star Wars spoof. I mentioned earlier about Moonface seeing Robot Chicken Star Wars episodes, and that's what this is like. If this had been Spaceballs 2, and he'd had the hero searching for the wise old master, only to find Mark Hamill there, who just tells him to fuck off, it could have been a smash hit, instead of a mash of shit. I mean, relatively speaking, of course, The Last Jedi made $1.3 billion at the global box office. Not exactly a flop, but about a third less than The Force Awakens. $700 million pissed away just to subvert expectations. Was it worth it?
What are you doing?
The bad word of mouth and attitude of Disney/Lucasfilm in the wake of The Last Jedi also killed Solo's chances of success too. So it's likely that The Last Jedi cost them well over $1 billion in lost ticket sales all round. Good work, folks. Bonuses for everyone.
Too evil.
So there we go, that's my thoughts on The Last Jedi. So in the next review, The Force Awakens, I'll be looking at the whole JJ mystery box thing. I initially really liked The Force Awakens, but does knowing how the trilogy plays out ruin it or make it more watchable? Let's find out together. We have everything we need.
We have everything we need.
Thanks for watching again, both of you. As usual, like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, shake the beetroot, whatever. See you later.